Hey guys, my name's Rob. Welcome to the Kinetic Rugby League channel. In this video, I'm going to be going through the Hull Kingston Rovers 2025 season preview. Let's get started. So the first thing that I want to cover with this Hull KR team is now levels. I can't remember how long it was into the season. I don't think it was that long, and Hull KR fans might be able to remind me. From what I recall, Hiku started as the fullback, now levels was the winger to begin with, and they went a few weeks sticking with that, and I think people noticed early on that that was not the way to go. And Evalds had to go back to fullback, Hiku had to go into the centres. I can't remember how long that persisted for, but I remember that being a very early topic amongst Hull Kingston Rovers. So the good thing now is they probably would have prepped a lot of pre-season with Hiku as the fullback, but I think they did change things quite early. They figured out that they needed to make that change, so now Evalds, as the clear number one, gets a pre-season being part of that spine. He had plenty of experience to build into the spine last season, but now they're starting with a brand new pre-season with anything new that they want to try and do, and Petiku back at number 3. So that's the first comment I wanted to make, is they now understand what they want to do there. That's already out the way from last season. They can go into this season knowing what they want to do. Moving on from that, the backline: Tom Davies, Petiku, Oliver Gildart, Joe Burgess. Oh my goodness. This is a stacked backline. It really is. The mix of speed, skill, experience, overall quality is ridiculous. Joe Burgess had a pretty strong season last year. Tom Davies is a hell of a player. Very reliable. Very, very reliable. Petiku and Oliver Gildart, I think, will fit nicely on their respective edges again this season. The way the Hull Kingston Rovers were drilled defensively last year, obviously, the first half of the season, Hull KR, they had some gaps. They were still a great team. They were still a good team early on in the season, but my God, they were a great team second half of the season. It was so difficult for teams to break them down. So even Warrington, when their attack was looking good, Wigan, Castleford, when their attack looked better, same with Leeds, same with London when they started putting up more points. So there were teams that started to find ways to improve in attack, but Hull KR just shut them down because defensively they were so well drilled. So well drilled. It was absolute pain in the backside watching my Wolves trying to open up this defence, especially when they came to Halliwell Jones for the second time. But my goodness, defensively, Hull KR, if they start the season how they finished defensively, Jesus, the sky is the limit, truly. Then we move on to the halves. I had question marks over Tyrone May as their number 7. I wasn't really sure how it was going to go, hadn't seen him enough. But clearly shows got a decent enough kicking game, knows how to organise. A great pass on him, and he's a strong number 7 in Super League. But then you pair that with Mikey Lewis, who's got the number 6 jersey this year. Congratulations to him. The biggest problem he's going to face this year is a lot of players jamming into him very early. So a lot of second rowers, a lot of standoffs or other halfbacks jamming in early just to make him shift the ball off quicker. Because the quicker that you can make him shift the ball off, 1, the less time he has on the ball, and 2, the more it's going to force Hull Kingston Rovers to have to adapt to life without Mikey Lewis touching the ball, basically. If he's the number 1 target, if players are looking to smash into him, there's a good chance it takes him out a lot. And I think a lot of that pressure will then be put on now Levels, who they won't really be planning for as much, but we saw that now Levels, when he's sweeping on the left and right edge, is extremely dangerous. So I think now Levels will take on a lot of the responsibility that Mikey Lewis had. And a lot of what Mikey Lewis was building up towards the second half of last season, his kicking game, will be his most clear asset, because his run game will be taken out so much. That will be such a big focus. So that's my thoughts on the halves, is that Lewis won't look as dangerous with his run game only because he'll be targeted for that. But I think he is smart enough to be able to definitely skip around a couple of players that jam in, and if he does, they've already got an automatic overlap on that edge anyway, so we'll have to look out for that, so we'll see how that goes. Then in the forwards, okay, Jez Litton, pretty strong 2024 campaign. It was pretty strong, and I'm looking for him to kind of replicate what he did last season. Had a few experiences in the halves as well, so there's a bit of versatility in his game. But he played a fantastic game at number 9 last year. In the front row with him, Sue and Warrior Hargreaves. My goodness. Now, the only negative is don't be surprised if Jared Warrior Hargreaves picks up a lot of suspensions. Okay? Now, you guys will know from watching my predictions videos, I don't always get it right, okay? I get plenty wrong. Now, one prediction I actually managed to get right in the NRL was I predicted Warrior Hargreaves to get a red card in a game, and he actually got a red card in a game. Because it's so common for him to act up a little bit. So, when he's on the pitch, he's going to be an absolute demon. He's going to be a pain in the backside to deal with. But that's when he's on the pitch. There is a genuine concern from me that he won't be on that much. So I'm just saying, okay? So be prepared if he's picking up suspensions. Dean Hadley, James Batchelor, Elliot Minchella, plenty of experience in that starting lineup. But then you look at what they can bring on from the bench or the kind of changes they can make with the experience. McAlorum, Luckley, Whitbread, Martin, Tanganoa. There's so much quality, so much experience that they have left to bring on. What I really like about this team is just the way that they defend. In terms of attack, they will put up points again. I'm sure they will. I'm positive about that. But just how ruthless, how well drilled, how composed they were defensively. Didn't give away too many stupid mistakes, or stupid penalties, I should say. That's going to be the most important thing for them to start with again this season. So I don't think they were great the first half of last season. They weren't great. No team was great, including Wigan. But then second half of the season, they were great. They were incredible. So the fact that they improved, and if they can start the season like that, there are some definite trophies on the cards this season. So for a floor and a ceiling, the floor for me, probably looking at about 4th place as a floor, should be a definite playoff team, no questions. I can't imagine that any of the minor changes they've made would make them so poor. If they get off to a bad start, maybe there's injuries in there that would force them to be outside the top 6. But this is a playoff team pretty clearly. And in terms of a ceiling, 1st place. It's all about that defence. And of course, it's already been talked about with Reece Martin taking on, the kicks after the tries, because they struggled in that department last season and they would have finished top of the point scoring tally. So there's that to consider. But yeah, I think 4th place, I can't see any lower than that. A lot of teams have improved, but the way that they can start this season, if they mean to go on with how they finished last season, they'll be incredible from the get-go. And yeah, 1st place is possible, with the possibility of some other major trophies in there as well. So yeah, that's my floor, that's my ceiling, that's my season preview for Hull Kingston Rovers. So if you guys have any thoughts, do let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. It does help to get it out there to more people. Subscribe to stay up to date with more Rugby League content, and check out the Kinetic Rugby League website in the description down below. But that's going to be it. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.